sports.
We are the fourth. We are so.
We welcome you to the surface of the sun. We're just kidding. We are in Washington, where broiling temperatures greet the Braves and Nats once again here at Nationals Park. It's Game 2 of a red-hot weekend series. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. Speaking of heat, the Braves poured on 8 runs on Steven Strasburg and company last night. Won Game 1 of the series by a final of 8-5, and that's in keeping, Joe, with what Atlanta has done since the acquisition of Matt Kemp, and more specifically on what's been a very successful road trip so far.
Yeah, speaking of heat and heat index, the Braves offense has been on fire. Last 8 games have gone 5-3. They're scoring right at 5 runs a game, and they've hit 12 homers over those 8 games. 3 last night. Doing a real good job with men in scoring position when they get some guys on base, and up and down the lineup. You're seeing video here of a whole lot of different guys who are chipping in and doing the job, and it's been fun to watch. It's also done a great deal of help. It's provided a great deal of help to the starting pitching.
So early offense has helped the Braves starting pitching. Rob Whalen gets the ball today. It's hot, it's muggy. We saw the trouble that Strasburg and Fultonevich had last night with their command.
Yeah, 109 heat index right now. You've got to have short innings.
It is Star Wars night. It's the Braves and Nationals. We'll have some fun. We'll get to the starting lineups and first pitch right after this.
Toward right. That ball's going to carry out of here. That ball is going to sail out of here. A high fly ball. Goodbye, Anthony Recker, a 2-run homer. It was that kind of night for Steven Strasburg, who fell to 8-8 lifetime against the Braves. Atlanta picked up their first win of the season against the Nationals with an 8-5 victory last night. Big crowd on hand for Star Wars tonight, and it is brutally hot once again for Game 2.
Heat index, though, boys, dropped from 113 to 109. We're in good shape now, as Reynaldo Lopez makes his 3rd big league start this year in the minor leagues for the Nationals. He was their number 5 rated prospect, 5 and 6, a lot of strikeouts. He was averaging actually 10.73 strikeouts per 9 innings. He throws hard, 95 to 98 with a curve and a changeup, and he's got a little sinking action on that hard fastball too, right over the top.
And this is the Braves batting order. He will face, as we showed you, the Braves offense on the road trip doing an excellent job, including Ender Inciarte, who's been rolling since moving into the leadoff spot for the Braves. And the first pitch of the night is called a strike at 96 miles an hour. Ender 1 for 4 last night. Takes low and outside. .97 on the corner, says Tim Timmons. He's got the plate.
First start, he pitched to the middle of the plate. The Dodgers knocked him around, so he tried to pitch to the corners his next start, and he walked 5 guys in 4 innings.
Little roller out toward second. Trey Turner's got it, and his throw's on the money. And that's how the game begins. Ender Inciarte rolls out. Eric Ibar is batting second again. He's hitting .239 for the year. Has hits in 16 of his last 17 games. Again, a key to the game last night for the Braves was working over Steven Strasburg in the first inning. Strasburg had to throw 25 pitches, and the Braves cashed in a leadoff walk to lead 1-0. There's a shot to straightaway center. That ball is well hit. Revere spins, turns the wrong way, but recovered up against the fence.
That ball was tagged. I can't believe after all the turns that Revere was still able to make this catch. Ibar continues to sting the baseball, and Revere turned one way, then the other. Then he had to backpedal and still caught it.
Terrific play for the second out. And here's Freddie Freeman, the man that's giving the Nationals nightmares again. Freddie 2 for 3 with a homer last night. He's got 22 long balls, 1 shy of his career high. And he jumps all over this one, drives it deep right. Goodwin back, track wall, gone. It's 1-0.
That was something inside that he turned on. Target was in, and Freddie dropped the barrel on it. That was a 4-seamer that got clocked. Probably clocked at about 97. Man, oh man, is he on fire.
So 23 homers for Freeman, who's now scored a run in 8 straight games. The Braves continue to hit home runs at a furious pace. And they've scored the first in support of Rob Whalen tonight. At KEMP, the batter. And didn't get it. It's 0-2. Nothing wrong with Reynaldo Lopez's arm. As Joe mentioned, this is his 3rd start. His debut came on July 19th. He struck out 9 in that game, the most by a starting pitcher in his debut in Nationals history since Steven Strasburg struck out 14 back in 2010. Number 5 prospect, says Baseball America, in the National system. And he took the roster spot of Jonathan Papelbon, who asked for and was granted his release today. Good battle with Matt Kemp.
doing a good job behind in the count of fouling off 97 and 98 mile-an-hour heat and making him work.
That one was tipped at the plate. Severino couldn't hang on.
Matt thought he was out. He didn't realize Severino dropped it. Breaking ball. Barely ticked it, and Severino couldn't hang on.
A Freddie Freeman solo homer with 2 outs is the first run of the night for the Braves. And Matt Kemp will see an 8th pitch. And it just missed. What an at bat.
This guy's only 6 feet, 180 pounds, 22 years old, out of San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic. But man, he can bring it. Good curveball too.
He likes to work quickly. As Kemp will see pitch number 10. And that one retires the side. First strikeout of the night for Lopez. But Freddie Freeman strikes again. His 23rd homer, matching a season high. He's in launch mode in the first inning, and the Braves have scored the game's first run. Has given Rob Whalen a lead before he's thrown one tonight against the Nationals.
And for Whalen, it is his 3rd start. These are his numbers in the minor leagues this year. 112 strikeouts for him and 120 innings and only 4 homers. And for the 22-year-old out of Haines City, Florida, his 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Contact. And this evening, it is heat wave contact. Don't leave your teammates out there too long. Be aggressive in the zone. Make the Nationals put it in play.
Trey Turner did that last night. He had 3 hits and 5 at bats. The National second baseman can really fly, as Whalen's night is off to a strike 1 start. And Whalen to that boring sinker has Turner bouncing that off the turf, and he's ahead 0-2.
Good outing for Whalen in Milwaukee. 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. No decision. Game went extra innings, and the Braves won it later.
Fly ball right center. Inciarte sprinting, still going, can't get it. It's up off the scoreboard. Turner around second. He's on his way to third. He's going to have an easy leadoff triple. Already 5 triples for Trey Turner.
With his speed, all he's got to do is find a gap. That looked like a hanging slider. Ender was shading him a little toward left, and it did look. Did it hit his glove? I thought he got close to catching it. And an easy trip around the bases for what a lot of people think is the fastest player in baseball.
So Ben Revere's the batter. He's the Nationals center fielder. Revere 0 for 3 last night. Braves pinch in at the corners just in case Revere thinks about a bunt.
How close Ender came. Just missed.
And slap foul.
We make jokes about it all the time, about coming to Washington and our vantage point being somewhere over in Virginia. But it's true. We have a very hard time seeing what actually happens live from that distance because we are way up here. Worst vantage point maybe in the history of baseball.
1-1 count. Swing and a miss. Well, Bob Uecker loves this broadcast booth. I mean, it'd be right up his alley as far as proximity to the field of play. As Whalen is ahead of Revere. A ball and 2 strikes. Strikeout would be nice. And a ground ball to first is just as effective. No chance to bring home Turner on that soft roller. 1 on, 1 out for Daniel Murphy. Murphy, the leading hitter in the league at .348.
And tied for 3rd in the league in RBIs. So from Turner's standpoint, with Freddie playing even with the bag, no sense in taking a chance there with nobody out. And you got this guy coming up who might drive you in.
Murphy had a couple of hits and a couple of runs last night. And is 10 for 22 against Braves pitching this year. And Murphy's terrific season, the subject of our Home Depot tools from the dugout.
Top 3 in all these categories, including average and slugging percentage at #1. 21 homers to go with his 82 RBIs. As with the Braves, the Washington Nationals really put a full court press on Ben Zobrist, who was a free agent. They wanted him to come here and play second. And we'll say settled for Daniel Murphy.
That's Mike Rizzo, the Nationals general manager. This club's got a big lead in the East. 2 balls, no strikes. Found mark.
I applaud Mike Rizzo for handling quickly that situation with Papelbon, who wanted to be released. And if you've got the Nationals have so much at stake. First place, they got a team that could contend for the World Series, for the World Championship. You don't want anybody here that doesn't want to be here.
How could you not want to be here?
Yeah,
well, that's the part that I don't get. 2 balls and a strike. I mean, look, Papelbon, as a writer posted earlier tonight, Papelbon didn't want to be in Philadelphia because they weren't winning. Papelbon didn't want to be here because he wasn't closing. How selfish is that?
Selfish and not realistic. He needed to look himself in the mirror and look at the numbers he's had, especially over the last couple of months. They stink. And he had to go get somebody else.
3 balls and a strike. Rendon's on deck. Turner leads at 3rd. 1-0 Braves on a Freeman homer. And that one's yanked foul and into the seats. guy's bruise is going to match his shirt perfectly.
And everybody there around him is already asking him to please keep his arms down.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Murphy, second toughest man to fan in the National League. Infield creeps in now with a full count. And it's tipped. Joe Panik of the Giants is the toughest guy to strike out in the National League. He's with the San Francisco club.
You know why? Doesn't panic.
A leadoff triple for Turner. Swing and a drive by Murphy. If it's fair, it's gone. It is, and it is. 2-1 Washington.
The pitch before, it looked like they went up out of the zone and he foul tipped it. I'm not sure. We won't know until we look at AJ's target here, but I think they wanted to try that again. If they were, he didn't get it high enough. That was letter high and belted.
He is as locked in as you can be.
Yep.
So first inning issues for Whalen continue. Murphy with his 22nd home run gives the Nationals a 2-1 lead, and Anthony Rendon is coming up. And now he cranks one down the line. This one's foul and halfway up the bleachers into the seats in left. Strike 1. Rendon got off to a slow start at the plate. He is coming on like a house of fire. Hits in 17 of 21 games, 17 RBIs, 12 runs in that stretch. And batting cleanup for a first place club. And the Nationals don't have their team. Bryce Harper still out with a neck problem. Ryan Zimmerman has a wrist problem. Their backup catcher Jose Lobaton is just now starting his rehabs. He may be back in a week or so.
In that first start, when he had some first inning difficulty, Whalen kind of pulled his horns in. He got tentative. He was not pitching to contact, and it cost him some more runs. Stay aggressive, get after him, get out of the first.
Popped up. Straightaway center, and Ender Inciarte is going to camp out. And two-way for Jason Worth, as this Nationals club tonight, Joe, doing what Dusty Baker has seen them do a lot this year.
Yeah, the Braves held him in check last night after taking the lead, but runs and walks. Of course, the walks always seem to lead the runs in the first inning. But what a nice attribute to have when you lead the majors in scoring in the first inning.
Yeah, especially with that starting staff.
Yes.
A couple early, and guys like Scherzer and Strasburg have been able to make it stand up for the most part. Here's Jason Worth. Worth has reached base in 41 consecutive games now, 2 away from the Washington team record. And 0-2.
His fastball well located, a little wider than the one before.
Swing and a miss, and that takes care of Jason Worth. But Daniel Murphy took care of Rob Whalen. He hit a 2-run homer a mile down the right field line. It's 2-1 Nationals. Oh, Darth Vader is happy. That's not good news.
Stuff, low price every day.
A couple of home runs in the first inning, one by Freddie Freeman, one by Daniel Murphy. And that leads us to Nick Markakis and the second, and our Greatness Made Here feature brought to you by Synovus, the Bank of Here.
We keep talking about offense. How about Nick's offense since the All-Star break? 333, 2 and 15, some doubles in there, and just clutch as can be with runners in scoring position. Had a rough night last night, though. Had a 5-game hitting streak snapped, struck out 3 times. You'll get another one started tonight.
He jumps on the first pitch and lines it to center. And Revere puts that away. 1 pitch and 1 man out. Really like to see the Braves work over Lopez for a long inning. Give Rob Whalen a chance to get his bearings about him after he had a heavy workload in his first frame. Here's Adonis, the Braves' third baseman, hitting .268, 9 homers and 39 driven in. Now 2-2. Lopez has a nice rhythm. And it just broke the bat of Garcia's. That one's grounded softly to second. 2 out. And here's Jace Peterson. Steven Strasburg's in his home run book. Jace hit 1 here last night. And he has 6 on the season.
That was a good night for him. Sacrifice fly 2 to kind of snap out of a little mini slump he had been in. His first dry spell since coming back. Nice pitch. And a generous call.
So a hot night, swing the bats. as Jace did there, and is behind 1-2.
When you can go from 97 to 79 and back to 98, that's very effective.
No swing. Well, Mike Foltynewicz can do that.
Yes, he can. I know Kelsey talked to Mike tonight. She's got some interesting observations from Mike about last night in the heat.
That was truly part of the game last night for Strasburg and Foltynewicz. We've said it a couple of times. Not only trying to beat the opponent, but trying to survive in this oppressively hot weather. Can't imagine what it'll be like tomorrow afternoon. We'll wrap up the series. Similar temperatures, but we won't have the benefit of the sunset to help cool things off.
DC United soccer team was supposed to start their game tonight at 7 o'clock over at RFK. They pushed it back to 8 o'clock to try to let it cool off a little.
Good at bat by Peterson. He draws a 2-out walk. And that extends the inning for Lopez. Man aboard for A.J. Pierzynski.
Again, with a young guy like this, and they saw it in San Francisco, can throw hard and strike out guys, and just as quickly can walk the ballpark. Make sure you get strikes to hit.
And the ball is flying. Let's see if A.J. can go into launch mode and put the Braves back in front. Foul at first. So A.J.'s got to protect the plate. He's behind 0-2. Tyler Flowers is playing in a rehab game tonight. Chance he'll be back in uniform when the Braves get back home at some point on the next homestand.
Was Julio pitching tonight as well on his rehab?
I think Julio goes tomorrow.
Okay.
Arodys Vizcaino getting closer to return as well. So that's 3 principals that will welcome back hopefully in the next week. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And A.J. hits it in the air to shallow right. And Turner drifts out and has plenty of room. The Nationals second baseman flags that down. And the Braves are out of luck in the second. It's 2-1 Washington.
the second inning. Rob Whalen towing the rubber for the Braves tonight. I spoke to last night's starter Mike Foltynewicz. He told me that this heat that he pitched in last night was the toughest conditions he has ever pitched in his career. He said on a scale from 1 to 10 in fatigue, after a normal start, he's at 6 or 7. Today, he is at a 10 out of 10. The only difference, he rode the bike instead of running today. He said his legs and his back are very, very sore, that he could have slept 24 hours after the start. Said he gave it all that he had. You would have had to just drag him off the mound if he went any further. But he said the good news is the other guy has to pitch in it too.
And that other guy was Steven Strasburg, who historically has had huge problems pitching in weather like we saw last night, and certainly did yesterday.
He wilted. Strasburg wilted like a wet noodle.
This is Brian Goodwin, who takes the ball. To give you an idea of how hot it is, Mike Foltynewicz isn't pitching tonight. Look at how flushed he is just sitting on the bench. Little bouncer toward Freeman at first. He'll make the easy play. Goodwin's retired. One man down.
I'm sure they have that fan, Mr. Fan down there at the end of the dugout that helps guys refresh a little bit. You know, the trainers have the ammonia water going and the wet towels. However, extreme conditions. This was not a heat advisory today. This was a heat warning for the District of Columbia.
And the Nationals are well aware of that as Espinosa digs in. Our first look at Danny in the series, and he tries to bunt. And Whalen overran it. That's a bad break. Espinosa's aboard with one out. The Nationals have opened up cooling stations all along the concourses in some of their hospitality rooms, so fans feel the heat's getting to them. They can get in some air conditioning and find some shelter.
I'm sure their official score will rule that a hit, but I'd give him an error. That's a play he should have made.
And they did charge an error on the play. So Pedro Severino is up. Severino rated the best defensive catcher in the national system. Espinosa started then stopped, and the pitch taken low. This is a twofold storyline for Washington tonight. Number one, they don't know if they're going to be able to re-sign Wilson Ramos. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's having his best year as a major league player. So if he leaves, you got to find out what you got in your system. Well, we get a look at Severino here tonight. He's getting time because, as I mentioned, Lobatone's out with a sore elbow. It's not his throwing elbow, but his catching elbow. And that's problematic when you're trying to haul in 98-mile-an-hour fastballs every night. Cue shot is going to bounce fair. How about that play? And Severino is retired for the second out. That ball hit the lip of the grass on the far right side of the runner's path and then took a wicked left turn, spun right to Freddie Freeman, and that's a huge break for the second out.
Big swing right off the end of the bat. Was over there by the running lane stripe and came all the way back to fair territory. Watch this. That was in the grass. Wow.
Well, when Severino comes up, you know what AJ's going to tell him. Mine went for a double. As Reynaldo Lopez is the batter. And has a big cut, didn't get it. Strike one. Lopez 0 for 3. Well struck, but out of play. And Whalen's a strike away from going to work in the third inning. Strike three ends the frame, and Whalen pitches around his own defensive mistake, and we've completed 2 innings. 2-1 Washington. Fans doing all they can to cool off in our nation's capital. Turner Field Saturday, August 20th for a free post-game concert, part of the Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines Summer Concert Series. Field passes are on sale for just $20 each. Get them online at Braves.com/Tori Kelly today. Daniel Murphy hit a long 2-run homer to put the Nationals in front.
Yeah, 2 hot hitters. Solo shot by Freddie, 2-run homer by Murphy.
And since Lopez made the last out, he was a little late getting back to the mound. So there's a couple more warm-up tosses. The Nationals are very excited about this kid. Joe Ross is on the disabled list with shoulder problems. In fact, he's not even throwing, and there's some concern that he may be out for quite a bit longer. And so, Joe, they're trying to figure out whether Lucas Giolito, who's been their #1 pitching prospect, or this kid is going to be the best option in rotation going down the stretch. As we talked about on Braves Live, Washington's in a stretch of 20 consecutive games with the Braves on the road, at home. They've got the Rockies. They've got this heat and humidity to deal with, and Dusty Baker's trying to find a way to get his starters some extra rest, but also find out who can fill in for Ross if he can't go to the post anymore.
Well, Giolito disappointed them. He really stubbed his toe in his opportunities, and I'm told they've sent him back to AA to work on some things. So they need someone to step into this spot and stay there.
Whalen with a base hit to right. That's a great start for Atlanta. Whalen's second big league hit. He's hitting .500 now as a major league player. And he represents the tying run.
Well, like any good hitter, he wanted to make up for that error. Hey, I talked to Ender before the game. High fastball, slashes it to right. And I asked Ender, I said, you know, I'm not familiar with your name. I mean, even from a Latin standpoint, I'm not familiar with Ender. And he said, I was named for my uncle, whose name is also Ender. I said, well, it is unusual, and I wanted to ask you about it. And he goes, well, coincidentally, that's what it means. It means rare.
I'll be darned. He grounded out his first time up. And this one's popped up. Rendon in foul ground. Has plenty of room. And a rare 0-for-2 start for Ender Inciarte on the road trip. 1 on, 1 out for Eric Ibar, who was robbed by Revere, who went on a 7:20 ride to straightaway center.
Yeah, or this would be a 2-2 game. He'll get on base for Freddie.
Braves are playing good ball. They've won 11 of 17, are 26-26 since mid-June. Pitch. There's a little low. So that's, quite frankly, an early birthday present for our pal Mac Honey, who will turn 70 years old tomorrow. Mac won't be with us for our charter flight back to Atlanta. He'll be celebrating with friends and family.
So the chances of him not being here tomorrow increase.
Exactly.
That kind of party.
Yeah. So Mac, happy birthday. As my dad would have said, had you known you would have made it this long, you'd have taken better care of yourself, right? One ball, one strike. Murphy plays behind Whalen at first. And Ibar was fooled. An 88-mile-an-hour changeup.
88 changeup, 79 curveball, 96 plus fastball. He's hit 98 a couple of times tonight. Pretty much right over the top, but he's got a little movement on it too from that top arm angle.
Two balls, two strikes.
It's interesting, his work against left-handers coming into the game tonight for Lopez. He had walked 2 and struck out 11 left-handers. Right-handers, he had walked 4 and only struck out 2. So that off-speed stuff to the lefties is what is very effective.
Fly ball left and playable for Worth. And Jason Scott, 2 down. Nationals are very excited about Lopez. He was a non-drafted free agent, as Joe mentioned, out of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Nationals, like so many other clubs, including the Braves, are really trying to increase their Latin American presence and the effectiveness of their Latin American program. As Mike Maddox has some ideas of how to pitch Freddie Freeman. It is interesting, though, when you think back to the birth of this franchise in Montreal, they were always getting guys out of the Dominican. Fred Ferreira was a huge scout for them.
Yeah, I was just going to go there. I took the words right out of my mouth that they always had great success at the Expos in Latin America. Got great players out of there. But the competition has gotten stronger for Latin American players, with all teams having good success now and finding good players.
Freeman's the batter, shift on. And he jumps on the first and lines it to center. And that will retire the side. Rob Whalen led off with a single. He spent that entire frame on the base paths. We'll see what effect that has as we head to the home third. And he jumps all over this one, drives it deep right. Good one back, track wall, gone. It's 1-0. Swing and a drive by Murphy. If it's fair, it's gone. 2-1 Washington. So the ball's flying at Nationals Park. And those are your Toyota key plays tonight. 2-1 Nationals as we head to the home third.
Number 23 for Freddie, number 22 for Murphy.
Where would the Nationals be without that guy?
Boy, in the absence of Harper, and especially Harper and Zimmerman right now, they would not be in first place by 7.5, that's for sure.
So the top of the order will greet Rob Whalen. Trey Turner hit a 2-strike triple in the opening inning. Five triples since the All-Star break, leads Major League Baseball. Brett Gardner of the Yankees has 4.
Good pitch.
Never had the plate. 2-1 your count. Had some bite to it.
Yeah, running in on him. He had a tendency to swing at that pitch last night against Fulte too, and of course it had a little more velocity on it from Mike. And again.
Turner has played second base and center field for the Nationals. He's a shortstop by trade, but middle infielders, terrific athletes.
You know what? Yeah, I can see in the not too distant future how he is their center fielder for about 10 years. I don't know that the Ben Revere experiment has been a good one for them. He hasn't hit much. But with Espinosa and Murphy in the middle, and then Zimmerman healthy back at first base, Harper, put him in center, put Turner in center, and let him lead off for the next 10 years. Kind of like that.
2-2 pitch. And having to work hard here in the third.
With his speed, certainly cover it.
Full count. Revere next. 2-1 Nationals. Bottom of the third inning. Ninth pitch of the at bat. And Turner jumps all over it. Cracks this one down the left field line. Is it fair? It is fair, and that's gone. He's got the triple and homer taken care of, and it's a 3-1 Washington game.
Well, he kept swinging at that fastball running in on him. And this time he got one that wasn't in far enough. Boy, he pulled his hands in beautifully, kept his head down, and somehow kept it fair. He's not a big guy. He's listed 6'1", 185. I'd have to see him on the scales to believe 185.
But he hit that one a country mile, and the Nationals, with a couple of homers, have a 2-run lead now. A 9-pitch sequence equals the third Washington run. Here's Revere, who bounced out his first time up. Fair down the right field line. Freeman playing off the bag. Markakis has a little trouble as it takes a tricky bounce. And Revere is on his way to third, and he'll stand with nobody out.
If Freeman's not playing in, he gets to this ball easily. But playing in on the grass, right over the bag, no chance.
Can a long run. I'm guessing the ball stuck under the pads out there. The outfielder disappears from our view the way the stands are built here. So it's a 3-bagger for Revere. He's got 6 of those. And now you've got to face Murphy again in a run scoring situation. Braves made another roster move on their major league roster today. Keel Morris was sent back to the minor leagues, and Ryan Weber was brought back up. There's the 0-1 pitch. And Murphy. That hit him.
Yeah, I guess.
Was it a foul ball?
What's he pointing at? I don't know what Tim Timmons is pointing at. Hit him on the foot. I think he was pointing like, yeah, you swung at it, but it's pretty obvious this pitch hit him in the foot.
Yeah.
The crack up is Murphy doesn't want to go to first. He wants to hit.
Exactly right. Might have got a homer in the game. But now the count 0-2.
And he, to go along with that, Dusty Baker wants him to hit too. He's not going with any replay.
Yeah, there's no sign. He said, hang up that phone.
Yes.
.22 homers, 84 RBIs for Murphy now. The 1-2 pitch. Is foul. There's your batting chase in the National League, our Academy Sports Leaderboard. 2 Nats, 2 Rockies, and Ryan Braun. That was whistled into the Nationals dugout. And their entire coaching staff was standing right on that top step. And somebody might have gotten hit.
I don't know how it could have missed anyone. He pulled the ball directly behind him.
Been the security guard standing behind the National staff. Hope he's all right. Time call. One more note on Ryan Weber. The reason Ryan was brought back up is he provides insurance in case Tyrell Jenkins or Rob Whalen has trouble. He can pitch multiple innings in relief. Brewers are hoping he won't be needed, but he is here and ready if called upon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a fly ball to center. That'll chase Inciarte back. And Murphy, who was hit by a pitch, didn't take first base, and that's why he puts it in play. Hits a sac fly to center, and that's his 3rd RBI of the night. And the Nationals have 2 more runs across here in the 3rd inning. It's a 4-1 game.
I guess on the flip side of that hit batsman deal, the Braves could have had an appeal. Say, oh yeah, you got to go to first.
That might be the first time in history that would ever happen.
No
right?
kidding.
So there's the first out of the inning. Whalen about to make his 19th pitch of the frame. And it's a ball low. Rendon second on the Nationals club in runs, doubles. He's 3rd in hits, 3rd in walks. And the only 3rd baseman with a better fielding percentage than Anthony Rendon is Nolan Arenado. So when you talk about unheralded stars that are on the rise, this guy's got to be on that list. Two and one.
He's unheralded in a lot of places except here.
Yeah.
And much appreciated here. Had to play a little second base until such time as they figured out that Ryan Zimmerman couldn't throw across the diamond anymore. Moved Zimmerman to first and Rendon to third. Of course, that was at a time when they had Adam LaRoche too playing first base. By the way, the Kansas Stars got to the semifinals of the NBC tournament, got knocked out in 17 innings last night.
Unbelievable. 2-2 pitch. I sure wish I owned a drugstore in Wichita, Kansas, right across from that
Right after that
hotel.
17 innings. I think Jason Marquis took the loss.
Oh man,
he was playing left field and brought in to pitch because they were just completely out of gas.
2-2 your count. And a swing and miss gets Rendon. That's 3 strikeouts for Whalen. I love the other part of the story, not just the 17 inning part, but Adam LaRoche and those guys really did a nice thing for the other players participating in that tournament.
Yeah, it's my understanding that I think I had mentioned a couple of days ago, those guys were just signing autographs in Wichita like crazy, and they were charging for the autographs. I guess outside the ballpark had stands set up, but all the proceeds went to help other teams offset their travel costs. They donated that money to the other teams. Well, that was great.
Jason Worth, a swing and a miss. He was Whalen's first punch out. That ended the opening inning. Rob is wearing that cap, isn't he? It's pulled down low over his brow. He has to look up. It appears to see the signs.
Even like in our graphics, our stock photo of him, he's got to tilt his head back so we can see his eyes. Ready for that bull ride.
His 28th pitch is popped up to left. Long run, Kemp, and Matt gets there, and that retires the side. 4-1 Washington.
Talking about how hot it is here. Last night, Chip and Joe noted the umps, they don't get a break like these players do every half inning. So I went ahead and asked them how they keep cool. They use something called X-Temp. You see the umpire walking back in. These are ice packs that they put in their uniforms that last for about 3 innings, roughly 1 hour. Only the ump behind the plate wears this. They do have shirts that the other umpires on the different bases can wear. Some of them actually said they might wear it for the first time tonight, but they said they wear these ice packs when it's in the 90s or 100s, and they actually were developed from what the troops used in Afghanistan. But they said these things are lifesavers to them, and that when they were first introduced, they all thought it was a joke and didn't realize how much it would end up helping them in the long run.
That's outstanding, Kelsey. I mean, that's good work finding out about that. I had no idea. And what a wonderful thing for those guys on these types of nights and days.
Otherwise, they'd have no shot.
No,
really
no, I think it's great. And
that explains why Jordan Baker left the field last night. We thought maybe he had just a cooling towel or something to try to get some comfort and relief, but it must have been to change those replaceable cool packs.
Yeah, Kelsey, I have another question. Were these guys willing to talk to you about that? I mean, volunteering all this information?
Oh, these guys were incredible. They welcomed us with open arms and they showed us everything. You could see they were even putting the ice packs on my back so I could see kind of what it felt like. But I mean, you know, these guys.
Fly ball left, easy play for Worth.
These guys don't get the credit that they deserve, and they have to sit out there in the heat in these big, bulky uniforms and just stand out there with no AC. They don't have a break like we noted that these guys do. They don't have a fan blowing at them. And this technology is as simple as an ice pack on their back, but it really helps. And what the guys on the base said they might wear for the first time tonight, it is an Under Armour or a Nike kind of dry fit shirt with just these long pockets in the back that they just slide ice packs down that fit perfectly in it.
Now, did you have the thought to ask them if they had any spares for you tonight? Because you don't get much of a break either.
Right.
No, I didn't. I dropped the ball there.
Well, thanks for that. It was a great report.
One out for Nick Markakis as we play on in the 4th inning. 4-1 Washington leads. It's game 2 of the series. Nick lined out to center. His first time up. His mistake to a 3-run lead. He's been impressive.
Yeah.
Nothing that the hitters can really eliminate. He's got the fastball, the changeup, and the breaking ball all working so far. He's thrown 53 pitches.
Only walked one guy. That's the key for him.
Nick didn't think much of that.
98 on that pitch. Yeah, a little low. He's had some low pitches called on him on this road trip. One in Milwaukee that was not good at all.
Ripped to right. And that's going to rattle high off the fence. Markakis never stopped flying. He's on his way to second. He's got a stand-up double. So he's in scoring position. 29 doubles for Markakis now.
That looked like a breaking ball too. Change up right in the middle of the plate. And he whistled it off the wall, almost got out of there.
Nick had 38 doubles last year. So he's closing in on that mark. Let's see if Garcia can bring him home. That's catcher's interference. So Severino reached up too quickly. Garcia will reach. That is an error on the Nationals backstop. And Jace Peterson's coming up.
Pretty easy to hear that one happen when you're the home plate umpire.
Jace earned a walk in the second inning. Let's see what he can do with 2 on now, 1 out.
A teammate in Seattle, Bob Stenson, scrap iron catcher, who was really good at causing catcher interference, and he was a catcher himself, but 2 or 3 times a summer he would, in a tough spot, yeah, almost a reverse stride.
Ground ball toward Murphy, and to wait. Second one, throw to first, not in time. Peterson's good speed beats the play at first. Now Daniel Murphy's looking into the Nationals dugout. Might they question Garcia's play at second?
Well, if not there, I don't know if Jace hit first base when on the way by, because the pitcher's foot was all over the bag. We'll get a look at both plays here. No, that was okay. And it appeared that Jace hit first. All good.
So Peterson trades places with Adonis Garcia. Markakis is at third. Now AJ's the batter. He popped out into a shallow right. Trey Turner tracked it down to end the inning.
It would be nice to pick up at least one of those.
They have the luxury with the lead of pitching carefully to AJ with the pitcher next. Base open. It happens to be second. Let's see how Lopez and Severino work. 1 ball, no strikes. Good stop. 2-1.
is one of the few catchers you'll see that wears the helmet, but wears it with the bill facing forward. Lobaton does that. His teammate, who's on the disabled list, Jared Saltalamacchia, does that. And I'm not sure what benefit it is unless maybe that bill helps kind of hold up the top of the mask, take a little weight off the bottom.
Two on, two out. 2-2 pitch. With the shift on, Markakis has the luxury of getting about a 35-foot lead off the third base bag.
Anything in the dirt.
Yeah, he's got a great chance to come.
He sure does.
Look how big his lead is. Pitch number 6 for AJ. And it's grounded right into that shift. The flip to second will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error. 2 Braves runners are left. Washington with a Star Wars theme.
But it's not over. Oh, Abe was vanquished.
So broke his lightsaber.
But not to be denied. Thomas Skywalker.
So we head to the home fourth. 4-1. Washington has the lead. Murphy and Turner have hit homers for the Nats. Freddie Freeman gave the Braves a first inning lead with his 23rd long ball. Whalen had to work hard. 28 pitches unofficially his last inning. And here in the fourth, Goodwin, Espinoza, and Severino are coming up. Goodwin's first big league RBI came last night. He's having a good year for the Nationals at AAA, and he's here because they can't figure out what's wrong with Bryce Harper. Harper's missed now 5 straight games with a neck problem. They gave him an MRI. That came back clean. Mike Rizzo said in the Washington papers today that yesterday Harper was able to go see a chiropractor, which they feel is progress, but they have not yet ruled out a DL stint for Bryce.
It's been almost a week already.
Harper is not having a season even remotely close to the magnificent year he had last year.
I think what's good for Goodwin, though, an opportunity when he's stuck in AAA behind Bryce Harper. It gets a little bleak down there, wondering what you've got to do for somebody to notice. You get this chance, and you can show not just Dusty Baker, but other clubs.
A little roller. Let's see if Whalen can field this one cleanly. He did. And Goodwin's retired to start the fourth. Here's Espinosa. He's the man that reached on Whalen's miss last time up.
I'll say this for Rob Whalen. He's not showing the exhaustion that we saw last night from both Foltynewicz and Strasburg. He's a different type pitcher. He's not a max effort guy. That may be part of it. He's also from Haines City, Florida, and that may be part of it.
This is a nice spring day for him. Here's Espinosa. He's not afraid to lean into a pitch either. And he's not afraid to swing the bat either. 18 homers for Espinosa. He's been hit by 18 pitches. And he's clean shaven.
Yeah, how about that? For his last 18, though, with 7 strikeouts.
Oh, 2.
You know what? He's made good pitches tonight. He's hit spots. He struck out Worth in the first inning, got him to chase a ball in the third. He's had some weak pop-ups. It's just the pitches that were hit for homers. Just missed being where he wanted them. The pitch they wanted up to Murphy, the pitch they wanted up and into Turner, just missed, and enough at this level where they go out of the ballpark. What a sinker that was. Breaking ball. Got away with it and got the strikeout.
His 4th of the game, and that brings up Severino. He bounced out to Freddie Freeman with the funky spin. I still can't believe that ball turned fair. I don't think he could believe it either. So Whalen unleashed the old Jedi ball trick to retire the Nationals catcher his first time. Roller, foul. Hey, you better keep running. You never know. Come on, man. He stopped about 30 feet down the first base line, and wouldn't that have been something?
That would have.
One ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Rob Whalen. He'll lead off the Atlanta 5th. It's 4-1 Nationals in Game 2.
15% or more on car insurance. And by
Sports and outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
With Joe Simpson, Kelsey Winger, Chip Carey with you back in Washington. We head to the 5th inning. Rob Whalen will lead off for the Braves. It's getting cooler.
Yeah, it's down to 91. The heat index is down to 104. Darn near balmy. Or embalmy.
Lopez will have a couple more warm-ups, and then Rob Whalen will get it started for the Braves.
We were lucky tonight. Our crew took pity on us and rounded up some fans. So at least we have some air circulating here, and that's helping. No, they need to come to Atlanta and have the people there teach them how to fan. They just don't get it up here. They don't get a lot of things up here.
That's a very good point.
Except over there at the Treasury Department.
They get everything.
Yeah.
That's bounced off the plate. Well, so far through 4 innings, I think you'd have to say that Lopez has been very impressive for the Nationals. This is exactly what Dusty Baker and Mike Maddox were looking for this kid. Someone to step up and give them an option, a reasonable option at the back end of their rotation. Another bouncer, this one right to Trey Turner. Easy play, 1 out.
Yeah, coming into the game, 8 2/3 innings, had given up 14 hits and 9 runs, all earned. And he had walked 6 batters. This does not look like that guy. This looks like the guy that was putting together those good numbers at Syracuse and Harrisburg.
He hasn't tried to strike everybody out tonight. That maybe has helped his cause. He only has 1 strikeout, but he's had excellent command. Xander Inciarte bats with 1 out. He's our Georgia lottery feature.
Been on base 23 straight, so like Nick Markakis, roughly since the All-Star break, he's been outstanding.
Rendon played him on the grass. 2 outs.
See, 97 and then 88 changeup. He's out front and had nothing left on his swing. The Nationals took batting practice, full-blown batting practice on the field today when it was at its hottest. The Braves chose to hit inside in the cages. Try to save some strength.
Yeah, tough part of the schedule for Dusty Baker and his Nats. Played a series in Arizona. Hot weather against the Giants in Cleveland. Hot weather here. After this series, they go to Colorado for 3. Have to fly all night and get to Atlanta for 4 games next week, where it's going to be warm and muggy at Turner Field.
Hey, we had some hot days in Denver, remember?
We sure did. They've got a home-and-home series with their Beltway rivals, the Orioles. 3 up, 3 down, an 8-pitch inning. That's exactly what Lopez needed. He'll lead off the 5th. Sterling's call. A home run for Judge Wampner.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Probably so. That is pretty good stuff there, though. Boy, what are the chances of that happening?
Never before.
Yeah, and not just have it happen, but batting back-to-back in the order the first day up.
The day after all the drama of A-Rod and all that stuff that took place, not just yesterday, but in the weeks leading up to it. Yeah, exactly. Right.
After today.
And so the Yankees, with their full-on rebuild, have really restocked their system with their trades of Chapman and Keller et al. And the Yankees try to hang in the playoff race. They start play 6 games behind Baltimore. Today they won their 4th consecutive game. And the Yankees, at the moment, only 3 out in the wild card. That might be, if they make it, Joe Girardi's finest hour. As this one's hit to the right side by Lopez, he'll be retired. And that's how the home 5th starts. Whalen has sat down 7 straight now. We go back to the top of Trey Turner.
Yeah, let me tell you a little something about Trey Turner. He signed out of North Carolina State with the Padres, went to Eugene, he hit .228. They sent him to Fort Wayne because he was way too good a player to be a rookie ball. Fort Wayne, he hit .369 in 46 games. Last year he started at AA San Antonio in the Padres organization. He had .322. Then the trade occurred. He was assigned to Harrisburg, AA. So after hitting .322 at San Antonio, he had .359 in 10 games at Harrisburg. Got called up to AAA. Hit .314 there in 48 games. And another 3-hit night tonight.
And now all he needs is the double to hit for the cycle.
So his career minor league batting average, .322 in 185 games and 236 hits in 185 games.
So as a millennial person, he's really old school in this regard. That's what used to happen in the minor leagues. You'd have those kinds of seasons, and that's how your top prospects got noticed and got the biggest, because they dominated the levels in which they played. And here he is with 6 hits already in the series. And he's a threat to run. He's been successful in 10 of 11 base stealing attempts.
Kind of a convoluted trade, but you're wondering, why did the Padres trade the guy who was a #1 pick and putting up that kind of damage? The Padres got Will Myers in the deal. They got Ryan Hannigan, Jose Castillo, a pitcher, Gerardo Reyes, another pitcher. So if they didn't think Turner was quite ready, they got a major league player in Will Myers and another one in Ryan Hannigan.
And you know what? Take the other players out of that deal. Will Myers for Turner. I mean, really, that's the essence of the deal. That's not a bad trade for either club.
No. For the Nationals, though, Will Myers didn't come from them.
Correct.
He came from Tampa.
That's upstairs. Ball 1 for Ben Revere. Washington leads 4-1. Atlanta led 1-0 after a half inning. Daniel Murphy hit a 2-run bomb in the first. Turner homered in the third. Revere scored on a sacrifice fly by Daniel Murphy. And that's where we stand. Difference in this game. Inciarte and Ibar, 2 of the hottest hitters on the Braves, are 0 for 6 tonight. Turner and Ben Revere, the 1-2 hitters for Dusty Baker, are 4 for 5 with 3 runs and 3 extra base hits.
idea. He had a little weight over on that right foot, like he was about to cross over and take off. His minor league stolen base numbers, because he was getting called up and moved up all the time, he never stole more than 14 bases at one stop, but he was 52 out of 62 overall in the minors. Good lead here.
Another half step. Not going. Ripped into the right field corner. He's on his way to second and around second, headed for third. And they're going to wave him home. Revere's around second. He'll make his way to third. Ben Revere has 2 triples tonight. Turner has scored his 3rd run in the first 5 innings. It's 5-1 Nationals.
That looked like a changeup that had the middle of the plate, and Revere's all over it. Easy read there for Turner to realize that ball was going to get down, and hitting the bases in stride, scored easily.
So the Nationals have extended their lead. Here's Murphy, who's already knocked in 3 runs. And he bounces one past the mound. Ibar recovers on the deflection to get Murphy, but scoring on the play is Revere. Murphy has 4 RBIs tonight, and it's now 6-1 Nationals. Murphy with 86 RBIs on the year.
It's a play by Ibar to pick that up. Nationals fans didn't have a whole lot to get excited about last night. They were pretty quiet because the Braves winning by 3, 8-5, but Atlanta with their 3 homers kind of quieted the crowd. And the Nationals have been drawing right around 31,000 per date. Big crowd tonight. They're having a good time.
Murphy's already blown by his big league RBI high for a single season. That was 78, set with the Mets 3 years ago. He's got 86 and about 50 games left.
What a great sign he was. Really kind of a second or third choice, because they tried to get Brandon Phillips too.
Two quick strikes for Anthony Rendon. In the Braves' 6th, Freddie Freeman. Matt Kemp and Nick Markakis will be coming up. Not surprisingly, Brandon Phillips turned down the potential deal that would have brought him to Washington. He's a 10-5 guy, and he's turned down a couple of other ones in seasons past.
He just didn't want to leave town, I guess.
He's really good buddies with Marty Brennan.
Okay.
Understand why you wouldn't want to leave. Between that and the Skyline Chili, whew, what else do you need? Pitch. He is ripped into the seats. That one bounced maybe off the roof of the dugout.
Maybe a championship ring. Well, chance for that.
Skyline or a ring. Jason Hirsch starts to loosen up. 0-2 the count. .82 high-stress pitches for Whalen tonight. And bounced up there. We'll do it again. 1-2.
Yeah, only one, 2-3 inning, and that was last inning. A couple of strikeouts.
Fly ball left. Kemp got a late start, but he comes charging in and makes the diving catch. 2 runs on 2 hits. Nationals lead at 6-1 after 5.
To the 6th inning, you're looking at Trey Turner, the Nats second baseman, who some of us may be familiar with. He went to NC State in the ACC, but he is picking up a lot of national attention because of his speed, which has been put on display this series. I asked him what he attributes his speed to. He said, if you asked my mom and my grandpa, they would say themselves. And I said, why is that? He said, well, my grandpa actually grew up, he didn't have a leg. His foot was where his kneecap would be, but he had a prosthetic leg since he grew up, and he played 3 sports. He never let it hold him back. He was a huge athlete. And then he said his mom and his dad ran track, so he comes from a pretty athletic background, but he said he admires his grandfather so much.
I'll bet.
What a story.
He's having a huge game tonight. Needs a double to complete the cycle.
I know his grandpa's proud of him.
Freddie Freeman leads off for the Braves. He's the only Brave to score tonight. A first inning homer. And this one's cracked down the right field line, foul.
He was born in Boynton Beach, Florida, which I think is in the Fort Lauderdale area.
South, yeah.
Went to Park Vista, Florida High School. Must be in an area close to that.
Severino might have stolen a strike there. And that fills up the count. Lopez had an easy 5th inning through just 8 pitches. His 6th to Freeman is well off the plate, and he issues his 2nd walk. So he begins his 3rd time through the lineup. Let's see if the Braves can take advantage now. With Matt Kemp coming up, Matt has struck out and has flied out. He just made a terrific catch to end the Washington 5th. Hot night, balls flying. See if Braves can push across a couple runs here and make things interesting. Matt has a homer and 5 RBIs since putting on a Braves uniform. He entered play tonight with a .211 mark with the Braves. Overall, Matt 24 homers, 74 RBIs, and now batting .256. Of all the Braves, Matt Kemp might be the man that's looking forward most to Monday's off day. We're the tired part of the season, quite obviously, but let's remember he got traded. Braves are home a week, went on the road trip, so he might be apartment hunting something. Just trying to get his.
Yeah, that week in Atlanta was a road trip for him.
Yeah, just to get his life settled. No balls, 2 strikes. Way high. It's part of the trade process. I know I don't think about a lot. I'm sure fans don't either. The effect that has on your personal life. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For example, let's say Kemp had been on the road with the Padres. He's got his car, I'm sure, at the ballpark in San Diego. How do you get your car to the next home city? Your luggage, your apartment taken care of, all that stuff. I mean, the traveling secretaries, clubhouse guys do such great work to make that as seamless as possible. The Braves have a couple of the best in business in Chris Van Zandt and Ben Acree, and of course, traveling secretary emeritus Bill Acree.
Got him right above the ankle.
One-two pitch for Matt Kemp. And that's into right field. It's going to drop for a hit. And all hands are safe for Atlanta. 2 on with nobody out. A painful single for Matt Kemp. But he'll take it. He's got a 1-for-3 night. See if the Nationals bullpen starts to stir. They do have a 5-run lead.
Yeah, but this is a good start to the inning with some guys coming up that have been driving in runs, especially Nick Markakis. See if they can parlay this into a nice inning to get back in this.
As we showed you on that Synovus feature earlier, Nick with a .385 batting average of late with runners in scoring position. He's got Freeman at second. Nobody out. And Nick doubled his last time up. Good cut.
He's still popping it in there. 96 on that pitch. Very impressive outing though for Lopez.
Fly ball shallow center. And that's going to be easy for Revere. There's the first out. And third baseman Adonis Garcia is coming up. He reached on catcher's interference his last time up. Hope Matt Whistler's having a good outing tonight. He's pitching for Gwinnett. It's 1-1 with a 3.21 ERA for the AAA Braves. Look forward to getting Matt back with the big league club. Might see Julio Teheran next Friday. Julio's supposed to make a rehab start, we believe, tomorrow. And then he'll be in line to face these guys next weekend. These guys, of course, being the Nationals, a team he's pitched very well against.
He was.
Line drive hit toward Worth in left, and Jason's going to get there. 2 outs. Arbuckle Jenkins, who keeps an eye on all the minor league scores for us, tells us that Whistler gave up 3 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. Ford Gwinnett tonight. (6-1's your score. Game 2 of this series. Braves Live presented by Xfinity is coming up afterwards. Jerome Jurinovich, Brian Jordan standing by in our Atlanta studios. One more game left on this 3-city trip. It's tomorrow afternoon. Tyrell Jenkins and Tanner Roark. They'll tee it up at 1:35. Braves Live at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. We hope you make your plans to join us. Stop. And an even count. Wild game down in Miami tonight. The Marlins lead the White Sox 7-5. That's in the 5th. Marlins 1/2 game ahead of the Cardinals in the wild card race. St. Louis beat the Cubs 8-4 today. Randall Grichuk hit a grand slam.
Oh, nice return for him.
Phillies lead the Rockies 4-0. Colorado's really slumping. Made a very impressive push in the days right after the All-Star break, but the Rockies have now slipped 4 games under 500. They're fading in the wild card chase. Mets are winning 1-0 tonight. New York desperately needs a win. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a broken bat roller out to short. Espinosa's got it. His throw to first is on the money. And a promising inning. Bears nothing offensively for Atlanta. 2 on, nobody out. But Lopez pitches out of trouble and maintains a 5-run lead. First with a catered buffet featuring some of the newest Braves food creations and a Bloody Mary and mimosa bar. It's the Braves Brunch. Visit Braves.com for more information. 6-1 is your score. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And a dream come true for former #1 pick Jason Hirsch, the pride of Oklahoma State University. He's on to make his big league debut.
Here are his numbers this year in the minor leagues. Outstanding ERA, 183. 210 average against him. He's out of Carrollton, Texas, 6'2", 200 pounds, and was the 31st pick in the first round by the Braves in 2013 out of OSU.
And his family is here, and might be a few tears of joy being wiped away right there.
Looked like his dad was. That's right. Good fastball, throws hard, and he's got an excellent changeup. We're told that he's added a split finger pitch too that will help him against lefties. You and I saw him in spring training. We thought he was terrific.
So Jason Worth will be the first man that Jason Hirsch faces. And the first one is upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
It's easy for you and I, when we've seen so many major league games, to say, you know, control your emotions, you know, treat it like any other game. That's impossible. You are so amped up. Hard to stay within yourself and do what got you here, because you feel good. The adrenaline's flowing. The ball is flying out of your hand. Sometimes to the extent you're not sure where it's going.
It's probably going 3-1 to Jason Worth. Hirsch was the organizational pitcher of the year in the minor leagues in 2014. Went 11-7, started 26 games. In the next year at Mississippi, 3-6. His ERA ballooned up to 5.14. Moved to the bullpen, and that might have been the best thing that happened to him. As this one's a bullet up the middle. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball headed to center field at 103 miles an hour. So Jason Worth on Star Wars night, whose bio photo was Chewbacca, is aboard in the home sixth.
You think you and I are hot? Well, you've got here, but wearing that mess that Jason's got working with the beard, I can only imagine how uncomfortable it is. Yikes.
Brian Goodwin takes a strike. Goodwin's 0 for 2. There's an off-speed pitch. And another one. Nice sequence. His first big league strikeout.
And those were split finger pitches, both of them.
So Jason Hirsch has his first major league strikeout.
Watch this pitch dive. Had a little tumbling action to it from the split.
First of, we hope, many. Here's Danny Espinosa. And that one got away from AJ. And Worth will move up 90 feet. He'll stand at second base. You mentioned the emotions. In a young man's mind, I'm sure this game is moving 1 trillion miles an hour. But if you want to get a kid in a game, this is the kind of game you want him in. Not a high leverage situation. Let him get his feet wet. It's already a 5-run Washington game. Obviously you want him to do well. Just get your bearings. It's one of the old sayings in our sport. No matter where a kid is picked, sometimes when they see that 3rd or 4th deck on a stadium and these bright lights and the big crowds, find out an awful lot.
Yep. 24 years old.
The 2-0 is pulled foul by Espinosa. I read somewhere that I think Hirsch is the first #1 pick for the Braves to get to the big leagues in Atlanta since Mike Meyer.
Minor was after Hayward, wasn't he?
So here he is with a 2-1 count. Jay. Saw some late movement there. 3 balls and a strike. Bottom part of the order. Severino, the catcher, is next. Lopez, the pitcher, will follow. Worth at second with 1 out. Ground ball through the right side for a hit. Here comes Worth around third. Markakis lets it loose. Not cut off. And Worth slides in safely. Espinosa has his 57th RBI. It's 7-1.
Seventh RBI for a guy batting 7th in their order. Pitch was down. He raked over the top of it. Freddie was playing him near the line that time, and he pulled it in the hole between Freddie and Jace, but the wild pitch a factor here.
So Jason allows his first major league run. Here's Severino. He's 0 for 2. Runner goes. Bouncing ball third. Adonis knocked it down. Can't hang on, and all hands are safe. Tough play to his right. Severino's aboard.
He didn't make the play, but he saved an extra base hit here. This was going to get down and rattle in the corner. Just couldn't keep it in his glove. Double play still in order. Get a ground ball from the pitcher. Or a strikeout. Had gone 26 1/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run prior to his call up.
A run on 3 hits here in the 6th. And Lopez missed a bunt try. 2-1 your count. Now it's even. We will see the Twins next. Minnesota comes to town Tuesday and Wednesday for a modest 2-game series. Minnesota's beating Kansas City tonight 5-1. Little roller. Be one play. It's to first. A productive out for Lopez. He advances the runners for Trey Turner, who's a double away from hitting for the cycle.
Couldn't bunt him over, but that little hack got him over anyway. See if Hurst can put an end to this Trey Turner nonsense here.
Crowd buzzing as Hurst turns it loose, and there's tie. 1 ball, no strikes.
Saw him turn on a ball and hit it in the seats his second time up.
Up the middle, Peterson diving stop from an E. Throw him out at first on a spectacular play that saved 1 and maybe 2 runs. Great effort by Jace Peterson to lay out and end Turner's perfect night at the plate. Jason Hirsch has his first big league inning under his belt. We head to the 7th. Guests at Turner Field Thursday, August 18th. Get the Andrew Jones the Catch bobblehead. Don't want to miss it. Good seats available online. Braves.com/tickets, the place to get them. And it'll be a great week for the Atlanta franchise. The Braves Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will take place on Friday the 19th. We'll honor John Sherholt and Andrew Jones at the Hyatt Regency at 11:30 on Friday. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be a good day. 2 deserving inductees, to be sure.
A.J. Pierzynski leads off the 7th against Lopez, who's had a terrific night. He scattered 4 hits. He's allowed only 1 run. Duncan grabs a bat. He'll hit for Jason Hirsch, who went an inning with a run and 3 hits. In his major league debut, he also picked up his first strikeout. And A.J. spoils the shift. First pitch swing and a base hit to left.
A.J. may be saying to himself, well, why couldn't I have done that in the 4th inning when they had a couple of guys on base? But you know what? That would have been right at Rendon. That's exactly where Rendon was playing even then.
So Mike Maddox back out. The scouting report for Lopez. That'll give the Nationals bullpen some time as the kid right-hander is approaching 100 pitches.
Yeah. Mike has always done that. He always comes out, puts his hand on his pitcher and talks to him, maybe just to make sure he's got his attention. But on a hot, steamy night like last night, tonight, get off me. Get your hands off of me. Don't touch me. Just talk to me. I got enough going on.
Yeah. A little low, 1 ball, no strikes.
He's in a dry spell. 0 for his last 12, 1 for 14 on the road trip.
call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got to give it to Lopez. He's able to throw that breaking ball still for strikes too. There's Rowe ready to go.
Well, like Foltynewicz, this is what's so impressive about this young man. Here he is still throwing 97, 98 miles an hour at 100 pitches on a blistering night. Swing and a miss. That takes care of Gordon Beckham. And that is strikeout number 2 for the Washington righty. 1 on, 1 out, and back to the top. Ender Inciarte.
Yeah, I'm sure if you talk to Mike Maddox and Dusty Baker after the game, they like this version better. He may not be striking out 9 guys in 5 innings, but he's really pitched tonight. He's had good command, not just his fastball, but also that curve and changeup.
He's cooled off Inciarte tonight. Ender 0 for 3. Right there, strike 1. We've said it a million times, velocity means nothing if you don't command it. He has commanded the ball. 2 walks, 5 hits, and only 1 run. Not the first inning homer by Freddie Freeman. To the shortstop. There's 1. Turner the turn and a double play. If that was the final pitch of the night for Lopez, what a way to finish. Standing ovation as he leaves with a 7-1 lead at the 7th inning stretch.
Baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
7th inning stretch in Washington. It's been all Nationals tonight. Rob Whalen started, gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. Jason Hirsch made his major league debut, allowing a run on 3 hits. And now Chaz Rowe will come on for the Braves. He's the 3rd pitcher of the night.
And it is his 3rd appearance for the Braves. There are his combined numbers this year between Atlanta and Baltimore. 2 games at Milwaukee, excuse me. An inning and 2/3 combined. 2 hits, no runs or walks. Struck out 2.
He's got a tough inning ahead. Revere, Murphy, and Rendon are coming up.
Nationals already have a power pitcher in Scherzer. They have a power pitcher in Strasburg. Gio Gonzalez, I mean, he's in the low 90s. He's not a guy who's just thumbing it up there. He's throws pretty good, but add this guy to their staff right now. I know it's just one good start would be his first big league win, but certainly good signs tonight.
And this may sound like heresy, but the guy that's pitching tomorrow, Tanner Roark, I like him as much as anybody on that Washington staff. He is tough. He gives the Braves fits. He's won a lot of games in a Washington uniform. As this one's hit on one hop to Ibar. Nice play. And that retires Revere. One out. Remember when they had Doug Fister here, they didn't have a spot for Tanner Roark in their rotation. He went to the bullpen. He wasn't nearly as good as he was the year before.
Wasn't he a 15-game winner as a starter?
I want to look up the number exactly
14,
for you.
2014.
15-10.
Yeah.
And then last year went 4-7, 40 games, 12 starts.
Yeah, and they realized they made a mistake last year.
Yeah. Here's Murphy, and another shot to short. Ibar had him played perfectly.
He's handling a bad hop too.
2 outs. So tomorrow it'll be Tyrell Jenkins for the Braves. Tanner Roark, who's 12-6 with a 2.88 ERA. That's right, 12-6. Lower ERA than Strasburg. Within 0.8 of a point of Max Scherzer. And nobody talks about him. They talk about Strasburg, they talk about Gio, and they talk about Max Scherzer. Justifiably so, but Roark is a terrific pitcher in his own right. Tyrell Jenkins keeps getting better and better. He'll make his 7th big league start. He's gotten his ERA under 4. We'll look for big league win number 3. And 135. An 0 for 3 night for Rendon to this point. And that's hit a mile high toward right. Markakis on the run. Can't get there. And a fan from Annapolis, Maryland took a spill, but held on to the baseball. That was a great play.
Great catch.
That kid's a future Submariner from Annapolis. You can see he's not afraid to dive. The 3-1 pitch. Right there from Chaz Rowe. He's used to this heat and humidity. Pitched just down the road in Baltimore with the Orioles.
Both teams may want to break out some uniforms that I think celebrated their 30th birthday the other day, and that's the shorts that were worn by the White Sox. Was it 30 or 40 years ago?
It might be 40.
Yeah.
I don't know how the White Sox do it on these steamy days when they wear those black uniform tops. Kidding me?
I'm guessing the Braves will be wearing all gray tomorrow.
Here's Worth. So Worth on base 42 straight games. His base hit against Hirsch extended that run. And he scored the 7th and final run. 6 of the 7 Washington tallies came from the top 3 spots on their lineup card today. And then Murphy, who scored but 1, has driven in 4. But another thing we're seeing about this Nationals team that we haven't talked about much, I think, is how much deeper they are. sustain without a Bryce Harper. You can sustain without a Ryan Zimmerman. And plug in a couple of rookies. Get Rendon hot. Worth's been on base almost 2 or 3 times a day. Turner's been a spark at the top. There's a reason this team is 67 and 47. They're really good.
I wonder where Michael A. Taylor is.
Yeah, remember him?
Yeah. Well, he got off to a rough start, but I guess he's back in Syracuse. That's why he called Goodwin up.
We're told Taylor's back in the minor leagues. He had strikeout problems. So he's trying to get that fixed. As the 0-2 pitch is on the way to Worth, and a line drive to second will retire the side. No runs, hits, errors, 1 left. Getting late in Washington. 7-1 Nats.
Braves Baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, the Georgia Lottery, and Synovus, the bank of here.
Beautiful night in Washington. Chinatown, Georgetown. Big weekend here in Washington. They can't wait for the heat of summer to break. And they're hoping that will lead to extended baseball deep into October. As Sammy Solis is on to pitch in relief of Lopez, who went 7 innings with 5 hits and 1 run allowed.
Solis pitched the 9th inning last night, walked a batter, but also struck 1 out and got a double play ball. Low to mid 90s.
And right back where it came from. Ibar tags that one into center field, and a good start to the Atlanta 8th.
He's got a good curveball too. He should have used it there. Good swing by Eric.
He reaches for his 17th time in 18 games with a hit. And Solis now will face Freddie Freeman. Lopez, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a homer. He is in line for his first big league win. Braves will try to spoil that. They have 6 outs left to score at least 6 runs. And on this hot night, it's time for our cold hard facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
39 homers in 79 games through June 30th. 38 games, 40 homers since July 1st. That's a difference.
And Freddie's been in the middle of that Home run number 23 in the first inning. That matches his career high. And after a very disappointing start to his season offensively, Freeman's trying to finish the year with a flourish.
Freddie was looking for it too, just missed it. He was in a good spot. Gonna go upstairs.
And he put it right where Severino wanted it. But Freeman didn't offer. Full count now. No swing, and a hit and a walk gets the 8th inning started. And Matt Kemp's the batter.
Well, the inning started with a walk and a hit in the 6th inning, but the runners never moved up as Markakis, Garcia, and Jace made out. They put the ball in play, but couldn't find an opening.
Braves Live follows us. Game 2 here at Nationals Park. It's presented by Xfinity. And a shot to left field, a base hit. Ibar will be waved around. Worth concedes the run. And Atlanta scores their second of the night. 3 straight have reached. It's now a 7-2 game. Kemp with his 6th Atlanta RBI.
And 75th of the year. Breaking ball that stayed up.
Forces the Nationals bullpen into action. Mike Maddox with a very slow walk to the mound.
Will he put his hand on his shoulder?
Yep. Sean Kelly is the man loosening up. You know, Sully spelled backwards is Silos, which is why he is our producer Brian Woodrum's favorite Nationals pitcher. Brian, being an Indiana boy, saw a lot of Silos in his day.
Some silos over in Roswell, Georgia, too. You never know what you might learn on a Braves broadcast.
Here's Markakis. A 4th inning double highlights his night. Braves creeping closer, 7-2. Freeman and Markakis were the men that Dusty Baker wanted Solis to retire. He walked Freddie. Now Markakis. Sprayed foul. Even count for the Braves right fielder. Nice stop.
count for Nick. Solis likes his curveball. Will he go with that rather than give in? Nice ball.
Haven't gotten the attendance tonight. There was a huge crowd for Star Wars night. All the fans making their way toward the exits and Half Street and the DC Metro.
Hot as it was, I give them a lot of credit for coming out.
Braves trying to give the fans a finish. One across, 2 on, nobody out. And Nick fighting hard, stays alive. Line to second, throw to second, double play. That hurts.
Turner was trying to get that over there so quickly, it was like he shot putted it over there.
KEMP was breaking back, and no chance for the Nationals to turn another triple play. They already have one of those this year. And that's going to be the end of the line for Sammy Solis, who allows a run, 2 hits, and a walk. Adonis Garcia is the batter. Dusty Baker enjoying a 7-2 lead.
Is sponsored by The Home Depot and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
7-2, 2 outs. KEMP at first for Atlanta. Double play has helped the Nationals. Sean Kelly is on to pitch. Second man to work here in the 8th.
Great numbers for him. Look at that, 8 walks against 63 strikeouts. Fastball slider, like Solis, low to mid 90s on the fastball. A lot of sliders. I mentioned shot put a minute ago. Hey, congratulations to Michelle Carter, who became the first American woman to win the shot put. She put it over 67 feet.
Wow. So basically her front foot would have been on the back edge of the pitcher's mound, and she would have heaved the shot put all the way to the plate. Roughly.
Oh, farther. 60 feet 6 inches.
But from the back edge of the mound, from the back.
Let's say from the rubber, she might hit the grass behind home plate.
Yeah, right. Incredible.
That was a little high.
Yeah. I mean, this was a shot put.
Mm-hmm. Everybody ducking back there.
One ball, 2 strikes for Adonis Garcia. And Severino wants to be sure.
Yeah, we'll cut him some slack. He hadn't been in that many games.
Power bullpen. Nationals have a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Braves have a walk here in the 8th. And now Garcia, the 1-2 pitch is high. Don't know if we'll see Melanson tonight. It's not a save situation. See when Mark last pitched. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Ends the inning. A double play ball takes the Braves out of a chance for a big inning. They do push across their second run. It's 7-2. Night is coming your way Thursday, August 18th against the Washington Nationals. The first 20,000 fans at Turner Field will get that unique bobblehead doll, which captures one of the great plays in Atlanta Braves history. For more information, go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. Brian Goodwin leads off the Nationals' 8th. He is hitless tonight. And Chaz Rowe delivers a strike. More action in the Washington bullpen. Melanson, by the way, has not pitched since Wednesday. But he's not the man up and throwing. It's Yusmeiro Petit. Who is, as the Nationals notes say, a durable veteran righty.
Nothing like descriptive entries. Braves will be back here in less than a month after not seeing Washington since April. They play them 6 out of 9 days. Actually, was it 7 out of 10?
I don't understand how that kind of scheduling can take place. Fly ball to center. And Inciarte makes the play for the first
7 out of 9 games.
Follow Braves baseball on the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
And then in September they'll play them 6 out of 12 days. 6 out of 12 games.
I don't mind
I'm not sure the schedule maker was. I think he got up early Sunday morning and put this schedule together after a long night.
I don't mind it so much in September because you want to play your divisional teams and look, you got to play them so many times that that's kind of the way that works out. But when you see Colorado, a team from the West, and you play them 7 times in a 10-day stretch, it's just dumb.
And that's it.
And that's it for the whole year.
Well, and so in keeping with what you just said, and I'm with you, you want to play your own division. Isn't it special that the Detroit Tigers are the last team to play at Turner Field?
One of the great rivalries in Major League history, Joe.
Again, it's been a rough night for the old schedule maker.
Yeah. So as baseball continues to try to present its product in the best possible fashion, as this one's hit by Espinosa to second, I think the schedule is something that really has to be fought for or fought over by the Players Association. Look, everybody finds something wrong with the schedule. That's just the nature of the beast. I get it. And with interleague play and all that stuff, it's far more complicated than I can even imagine. But to go 2.5 months without seeing a club that's one of your rivals is just dumb.
If
play them once a month or once every 6 weeks. How hard can that be?
I don't know. I don't have a clue about a lot of things. I don't have a clue what might be some of the sticking points for the new labor agreement, but I'm going to guess schedule is part of it from a player's standpoint, Players Association.
I know that in our conversations with players from all teams, the biggest issue, getaway day start times. That is a big bone of contention for them. And a lot of that has to do with the Sunday night game. However, the economic fact of the matter is TV money drives the bus. And Severino broke his bat. Prime time hours are a whole lot more lucrative than 1 o'clock hours for live sports television during the week, especially. One ball, 2 strikes for the Nationals catcher. He's done a nice job working with Lopez tonight. Probably see Ramos in there for Tanner Roark tomorrow. And this one's right back up the middle. Ibar to his left. Gloves. Throws off stride. And an infield hit for Pedro Severino. 2 infield hits for the Nationals catcher. He's now 5 for 12 since his call-up. And Clint Robinson will grab a bat. And he'll hit for Kelly, who struck out the only man he was assigned tonight. Chopped off the plate, strike 1. Marlins lead the White Sox 7-6 in the 7th. Mets and Padres 2-2, bottom of the 9th inning in New York. Giants at home lead Baltimore 2-0. The Giants have a 1-game lead over the Dodgers. Out west, Dodgers beat the Pirates 8-4. And a shot left side. Adonis can't get that. Robinson beats the shift. And back-to-back 2-out hits greet Chaz Rowe here in the Washington 8th. And that gives Turner another chance to hit for the cycle, something that's been done twice in Nationals history.
Is that Nationals history, or does that include the Expos?
Nationals. 2005 to present history. Brad Wilkerson was the first to do it in 2005. Christian Guzman hit for the cycle in 2008 against the Dodgers.
I would have guessed Guzman. Wilkerson could hit too.
If he gets it, he'd be the 24th rookie in history to hit for a cycle. Nothing in 1, your count. Popped up. Long run for Markakis, and in foul ground, Nick is there to retire the side. Great night for Trey Turner. 3 hits and 5 tries, 3 runs, including a homer. And we head to the top of the 9th. Freddie Freeman hit a first-inning home run, but then Murphy and Turner and Revere got busy tonight. Trey Turner fell a double shy of the cycle, but the Nationals have had a big day offensively. They have scored 7 runs on 11 hits. Lopez, their starter, was brilliant. 1 run, 5 hits in 7 innings. He's 3 outs away from his first major league win. Braves will try to make things tougher against Yusmeiro Petit, who is, as I said, the durable veteran righty who spent the last 4 years with the Giants.
He's a 4-pitch guy. If you count his cutter off his fastball, high 80s, low 90s fastball with a cutter, curveball, and a change.
Jace Peterson greets him first. Jace has an 0 for 2 night. He walked back in the second. Nationals are trying to get on a big run in their last 40-50 games or so. They do have something else to play for besides an Eastern Division title. They lead the Marlins by 7.5 games. They're trying to hold off the Giants and catch the Cubs for the best record and home field advantage in National League postseason play. Right now, The Nationals are 6 games behind the Cubs for the best record in the senior circuit.
Cubs have won 11 in a row. That has a lot to do with it.
And the Giants at 65 and 50 are 2.5 games behind. And a line drive over Murphy is headed for the right field corner. Peterson's got at least 2. He's around second. He's going to turn on the Jets. Turner's throw to third is going to be off target. And Rendon, a terrific play to keep that one from going into foul ground and maybe bringing Peterson home. So Jace Peterson with a 9th inning triple gets things started. His first 3-bagger of the year.
And he was fooled on a pitch. Breaking ball, he just reached down and hooked it. Did you see what Severino did there? Severino went down to both knees to block that ball in the dirt, and it got hit to the right field corner. Nice play, you're right, by Rendon.
So an excellent start. Here's AJ. Jeff Francoeur will pinch hit next. There's action beginning in the Washington pen again. He's going to tack on a couple more. You might see Melanson then. Bouncing ball back to the mound. And the throw back to third is not in time. Bad throw from Petit. And Atlanta's got runners at first and third on the fielder's choice.
That was a great break back to the bag by Jace. That would have been easy to say, uh-oh, and try to get in a rundown. He made an immediate move back to the bag. Maybe because of where he knew Rendon was. Good throw gets him though.
And you know Dusty's saying, you got a 5-run lead, take the out at first. So a chance for a big inning. 2 on, nobody out. And here's Francoeur. Petit has been around a long time. Started with the Mets organization, then went to the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants. When he was 10 years old, he played second base for Maracaibo in the 1994 Little League World Series and was part of the first ever Venezuelan Little League World Series championship team.
Great.
Line drive into center field. That's going to get down. It's 7-3. A pinch hit single for Jeff Francoeur. And now Dusty Baker's going to chew on those toothpicks a little more. And he's coming to the top step. And he's going to go get Yusmeiro Petit.
Another good swing. I mean, that wasn't a bad pitch either. Jace Peterson hit a ball that the catcher was going to try to block in the dirt. Jeff had to reach and lunge for that one and pick up another RBI.
So the Braves have ninth inning life. It's 7-3, 2 on, 1 in, and nobody out with the top of the order coming up. With us as your team wraps up the series against the Nationals tomorrow with coverage starting at 1 Eastern on Fox Sports South. It's streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Will the Braves have a chance to go for a sweep? Well, they've got a shot tonight to make it 2 in a row over Washington. They're down 4 runs. They have 2 on. They have nobody out. But now they'll face Mark Melanson, who came over from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
32 out of 35 saves, most of those with the Pirates. A 1.35 ERA and walks to strikeouts. You see how good that is. Cutters and curveballs. He will run that cutter in on left-handed hitters. He'll throw the curveball to righties. He's been really good the last couple of years.
And this fills a need for the Washington Ball Club. Quite obviously, they were obviously not happy with Drew Storen. That's why they went out and got Jonathan Papelbon last year. That didn't work out for Storen or for Papelbon, who asked for and was granted his release. But if there has been an Achilles heel for this Nationals team, Joe, it has been the 9th inning. Not just this year, not just last year, but in seasons past too. They never really have been able to figure that out. Maybe this is the guy.
Well, Soriano was in there too, and he had some troubles. Rafael Soriano getting to the 9th inning now to get to Melanson seems to be their primary concern because they have a lot of confidence in this guy.
He's got Ender Inciarte to lead things off with Francoeur and Pierzynski, the Braves base runners. Inciarte 0 for 4, hit with a double play last time up.
And this is a save situation. With the tying run, potential tying run on deck.
Johnson 2-1, 5 saves, got a 1.80 career ERA against the Braves. Ground ball into center field, a base hit. A.J. Pierzynski is going to be waved home. The Braves have him 1st and 3rd. It's 7-4 now. One away to greet Mark Melanson. And the decision by Petit to not take the sure out at first is sure looking like a big play in this game right now.
No doubt about it. That's 23 out of 24 games for Ender on a cutter that didn't do anything. And his 17th RBI. And AJ picking him up and laying him down around 3rd base.
Now Melanson has to not only face Eric Ibar, who stung the ball twice. He knows that Freddie Freeman is in the on-deck circle, and he has clobbered the Nationals pitching staff this year. It's 7-4. Nothing in 1 for Ibar. He didn't get that. Remember, the inning started with the Jace Peterson triple. A.J. Pierzynski hit a comebacker to the mound. Had Petit made the play at first, they concede the run. There'd be 1 out, bases empty. You'd have a pinch hitter and Inciarte. At the very least, you have a 1-run inning, 1 out, and 2 guys on. Instead, 2 on, 2 in, nobody out, and the meat of the Atlanta order lurking.
Going to, you know, he's cutter curveball, put it in play.
He did. Line drive toward the gap. That's going to get down and roll to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Ibar around 2nd. He's on his way to 3rd. The throw there is going to be in time. And the Braves are going to take a look at that. And this is going to be a huge review. At the moment, it's 7-6. If Ibar is ruled safe, the tying run will be 90 feet away with nobody out.
It's either going to be a huge review or a huge base running mistake. Representing the tying run, you don't make the first or last out at 3rd base. Revere really had a sharp angle to that ball and had to chase it to the fence. Tag was on the hip. It's a matter of where the hand was with regard to that tag. Oh, I think he got in there.
But as is so often the case, the initial call is the one that takes precedence. And is there enough video evidence from the angles that we have to change the call? You're right, the tag was on the hip, but I don't know if there's an angle that clearly shows the hand got in before the tag. I'll take that back. The tag was right in the middle of his back.
Yeah. I like this.
That angle, he looks safe to me.
Yes, he does.
As the elbow bent before the glove touched the body.
I think he's in there. I don't know if they'll reverse the call.
Nope. He's out. So the call stands, and that's a killer. However, Ibar drives home 2. Braves have a 4-run ninth at 7-6. That is only the first out of the inning. And you've got Freeman, Kemp, and hopefully Markakis ready to go.
Like I said, a huge review or a huge base running blunder.
7-6 Washington in the ninth. And Freeman takes high. Freeman homered in the first. Washington has a shift on.
Yeah. Ibar really bailed out Revere, who took a horrible route to try to get to that ball and cut it off.
Umpires in the crowd wanted that one called. The curveball missed. 2-1. The put out on Ibar went 8 to 6 to 5. Swing and a fly ball hit deep toward right. That ball is going to be caught shy of the track. That one fooled me. Goodwin was right there to handle Freeman's drive. There's the second out. And now Matt Kemp will try to keep it alive.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Runner at second base. That gets him over to third with 1 out. That's why you don't like to run into an out for the first out of an inning at third base, especially when you're rallying like this.
So Kemp takes a peek at the Nationals' defensive alignment. Turner now moves over and plays right behind the second base bag as the pitch comes home, and it's skied foul.
I tell you, the Braves have had a habit of this lately, Chip, and that is they don't give up. They keep plugging away. They've come up short a few times in the 9th inning, but they are still swinging the bats and trying to figure out a way to win the ball game. Tonight's no different.
Kemp can reach. You've got Nick Markakis. And almost certainly you'd see a pinch runner for Matt, I would think.
Probably so. Outfield is really backed up, especially Revere, much deeper now in center.
The 2-1. count is even for the Braves left fielder Matt Kemp.
Good eye. Ran off that curveball. Everything Melanson throws will be running away from him. Has been running away from him in the dirt. This won't be any different.
Let's see what Severino wants. The payoff. Little hopper hit toward short. Espinosa's got it. And the Nationals hang on to beat the Braves. 7-6 the final score. The Braves with a furious 4-run ninth inning rally come up 1 run short as Washington evens up this series by a 7-6 final score. First win for Lopez. The save goes to Melanson. Rob Whalen suffers his first defeat, and we'll wrap it up after this.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted.